Kia ora, Morgan.
Kia ora.
Thanks so much for agreeing to be on the podcast, bro. Welcome.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
No, it's great to finally meet you in the flesh. And I mean, we might as well be honest with everyone. We met through Instagram, actually, and you told me a little bit about a really awesome kaupapa that you've got coming up in September. And I asked you if you would mind sharing it on the podcast because it sounded like a really cool story. And thankfully you agreed. So thanks very much for being here. Eh?
Yeah, man. Yes.
I'm really keen to unpack it and learn all about it. But what I'd be really keen to ask you first and foremost is where did the idea come from to run 617 kilometers in 1 week? Tell me about that.
I kind of thought about it last year.
Okay.
I've done a couple of charity events for mental health before, but they've been small scale, and then they don't really create a lot of awareness or get out to the public too much. So I was like, I want to do something big. And then when I was thinking about it, Ned Brockman was doing his thing in Australia, where he did 1,000 miles around the track.
1,000 miles.
Yeah.
Who's this guy? Ned
Brockman.
Okay, cool.
He did it to raise money for homelessness.
Oh, I heard about this. Yeah. Okay, cool. So he was kind of your inspiration.
Yeah. And I was like, that's cool.
That is.
And I was like, okay, what am I going to do? Around the same time, I'm Hope released 617 people took their lives last year. And it was like a light bulb in my brain. I was like, right, I'll just run that far.
Man.
And then I sort of messaged a couple of people who I look up to a lot. This is what I'm thinking. What do you guys reckon? Am I crazy?
Yep.
Can I do it? And they're like, go for it, man.
They're like, yeah, you are crazy, but yes, you could.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And then that's how I got the idea. And then it's just been a sort of year-long process of training.
Yeah.
But
so tell us what it is, man. So we know that you're running 617 Ks, but give us the whole story, man. So what's the purpose? Why 617? What's it going to look like?
So 617 is the number of Kiwis which took their lives last year. Right. It's a huge number, massive. If you break it down, it's 45 rugby teams wiped out due to suicide in 1 year. So it's a number which needs to change.
It's scary when you put it like that, eh? 40 teams.
45 rugby teams just wiped out. And I was even talking to my boss. It's like, think about this company, times 40 gone. And it's just, everyone knows someone that is going to be, if we don't do anything now, it's going to be an amount of time before it's going to be someone close to you. Whether it's your brother, your son, workmate, neighbor, best mate, at what it could get you. So
I don't know much about the suicide statistics, but is it a male thing? Is it a female thing?
No, 445 male.
Okay, so heavily weighted towards males.
Yes.
Young, old, mix?
Bit of a mix, yeah. And I think, not too sure exactly on the stats, but the highest are in construction as well.
Really?
Yeah, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And yet, don't know the exact number, but it could be 70 to 90% of diagnosis women saying hey, I'm depressed.
Yeah.
As a huge number. And so basically men aren't talking in particular, but still a lot of females have committed suicide as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, oh man, okay, that needs to change. It's hit close to me and my family before. So it's close to my heart. So I was like, okay, I'm going to run this far.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love pushing myself beyond the limits as well and inspiring people. And I've kind of inspired people in my own group to start running or moving. And I was like, wouldn't it be cool to inspire people who don't even know me, never met me in my life? So
it's the power of the internet. Eh?
Yeah.
You can touch people all over the world.
Yeah. So that's the biggest struggle for me is the social media side.
Yeah.
If I could raise money and awareness and do this crazy challenge and not be known, I'd love to. But unfortunately, to raise the money and awareness, you have to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
And in terms of the run, it's going to be 100K a day for 6 days and day 7, 17K.
It's an insane amount for me to consider because I went, so the longest run I've ever seen or been a part of, and I was just a spectator. I was part of the support crew, was my brother-in-law. He ran an ultra, I think it was 53 or 55 Ks or something like that. And for me watching that, I was like, man, this is an insane accomplishment.
50K is insane.
It totally is. That puts you in the probably 1%, right?
A marathon is insane.
Yeah. But you're talking about 100 Ks every day for 6 days. And then just a wee casual 17 to warm down on day 7.
Yeah.
I mean, have you run 100 Ks before?
4 times.
Right.
Yeah. And not good the next day.
Right. So how are you going to manage this?
Well,
Or are you not sure?
I have a good idea.
Okay.
The previous ultras, as I used to train a bit of jiu-jitsu. I haven't this year because I'm, focusing on this run. But the previous ultras, I used to train my jits, I used to lift weights, and I used to work and then run. So I wasn't focusing on just the ultra. I was doing a lot. With this year, I'm just running and lifting.
So you're doing everything you can to put your body and your mind right state to be able to run 6
days, yeah.
6 that way.
7 days.
Yeah. For most people, 17K is not even achievable. You're talking about just winding.
Well, yeah.
17K.
And so it's been like a year-long plan.
Yep.
When I first thought about it, I was like, right, I'm going to do strength and mobility for the next 3 months.
Okay.
And I did only strength and mobility and maybe 20K weeks. Just really trying to bulletproof the body.
Yeah.
So I can run.
Yeah.
And then I started doing some power and podometrics for 12 weeks while slowly increasing the Ks. And now I'm up to 100K weeks and I feel good. So the process is working. I've got amazing coaches, but
I was going to say, you must have had some support along the way. Because, I mean, unless you clearly you've got a background in fitness and stuff. So you know sort of what you're doing.
I've only been doing fitness for about 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Before that, super dark in the whole drinking.
Yeah.
Not knowing where I want to go in my life.
Yeah.
And then I changed and then it went just 0 to 100.
Yeah. Keen to unpack that and find out what it was that changed. But I mean, to run 617K in a week is a massive, obviously a physical challenge.
Yeah.
Huge mental challenge as well.
Yeah.
How are you preparing for that?
I'm hoping to get to 300, no hiccups. And then I'll just push the last 300.
Okay.
In terms of the mental side, I know it's going to be extremely hard.
Yeah.
And I'm prepared, I'm prepared for whatever it brings me. And quitting's not an option.
Mm-hmm.
I just know that if I need to, I can walk.
Yeah.
And I can walk 100K in 24 hours.
Right.
So this means I won't get any sleep to go again the next day.
Have you got people sort of pacing it or running bits and pieces with you just so you kind of got someone there to do it?
Yeah. There'd be heaps of supporters.
Yeah.
I've got Jerry from Open Palm Massage.
Mm-hmm.
He's my mobility coach as well.
Okay.
He's insane. So he's bulletproof my body already, but he'll be there the whole time. So giving me massages, whatever I need, strapping. So he'd be there 24/7. And then I'll have just a bunch of helpers. It'd be food and then whoever. I'm just going to have a team of about 8. And it's so crazy for me that people have booked off time, out of their day jobs to spend it supporting me.
It's an amazing course.
Yeah.
Right. It's not like you're just doing it for you. I mean, you're doing it to try and bring awareness to something that, like you said, touches all of us.
Right.
And it's that old 2 degrees of separation thing here in Aotearoa. When it comes to something like this, we all know someone either directly or indirectly through a friend or through a family member who has taken their life. And it's something that never gets easier. It just always, every time you hear about it, it just stops you in your tracks.
Yeah.
And it makes you just think and reflect. So
yeah,
it hits us all. And I think that's probably what is inspiring people, like you said, to take time off and support you.
And the thing with, I'm doing it at Higley Park as well. So I'm hoping I'll get a lot of people come down, community.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, hey, why are you here? Trying to build a bit of a community around it.
Amazing.
I'll have a big board. I'll just say 617K. And then why are you running? So people can write a name. If they know someone who has taken their life. And we'll just have a bunch of names there. There's a few ideas going around.
That's cool. I really like that.
It's gonna be gnarly.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't wait. So, you mentioned before, obviously 3 or 4, 5-ish years ago, you were in a totally different mindset, and obviously something happened that caused you to kind of go, nah, enough is enough. Time for me to take my fitness and stuff seriously. What was it in particular that sort of shifted that?
I grew up in Whanganui, up north, which is a great place. I love it. It's my home. And
Beautiful place.
Yeah, I was plumbing at the time, and then I was just not happy, and I was just at that time, I didn't even realize what feeling blue was meant to feel like. I was like, what are these feelings? And I was just drinking, kind of doing the tradie lifestyle almost. So you're not you don't look weird by drinking every night or every weekend. It's just like normal around the trades. And then I was just going downhill, and it was the first lockdown, which was like 4 weeks, 5 weeks
Yeah.
ahead, and it really gave me time to think. And then everyone was like looking forward to going back to work, where I wasn't. I was like, "Oh, I'm dreading it. I do not want to go back."
Was it the work itself that you were dreading, or
No,
dreading
and then
back into that
it
life?
felt like I was low, and yeah. So I was like, I have to do something.
Yep.
And then I signed up for jiu-jitsu. And then that walking into jiu-jitsu that day just changed my life.
Yeah. Brazilian or Japanese?
Yeah, Brazilian.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just, at the time, I thought I wasn't a people person. I thought everyone sucked, and then I met all these like guys who train jits, and they were so amazing and kind to me. And I was like, man, they treated me like a person, because I wasn't used to it.
So that was eye-opening.
Yeah, for me, yeah. And then after that, left my job plumbing, moved to Christchurch, started jiu-jitsu here.
Yep.
Met some amazing role models, and then started running, and then getting healthier, fitter, and then, I just all started with jits.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was your introduction to sort of this new world of fitness. You met some cool people, got around some cool people, and then went, actually, this can look different for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the cool people are like, they're doing cool stuff. So you want to do like cool stuff to be like them, if there's 5 runners in a group and you're number 6, you're going to become the 6th runner.
Bro, that's so true. Like
Yeah.
that saying always comes back to me, is like, show me your friends and I'll show you your future.
Yeah.
Like the people that you surround yourself with, I think people underestimate how important it is.
Yeah.
Like if you surround yourself with people who are doing things that you want to one day aspire to do,
Yeah.
you just got to put yourself around them.
Yeah.
And they'll rub off on you.
Yeah.
But also, if you surround yourself with people who are out drinking every night or going out partying every morning, every weekend,
And they're not
rubs off.
they're just drinking mates. That's the big difference there. Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely true. And I did have that, have you heard about the lonely chapter?
No, tell me
Where
about
they
this.
sort of like, you're trying to change and you leave your previous friends behind, but you haven't changed enough to make the new friends you'll like to hang out with. So
Okay.
you have the stage where like you're literally by yourself. You're lonely because you're like, you left that life behind. I don't want to drink. I don't want to like go out and cause trouble.
Yeah.
But this new people I want to hang out with haven't accepted me into their group yet.
They don't know me well enough yet.
Yeah. So you have that chapter where you're like lonely, and then there's that party which wants to go back to the old friends.
Yeah.
And then that was pretty tough.
So you experienced it?
Yeah, a good 6 or 7 months.
Shit.
Yeah.
How did you deal with that? Did you know this?
I went to jiu-jitsu like every night.
If you just keep yourself busy,
Yeah, pretty much.
there's definitely worse ways that you could keep yourself busy.
Yeah.
When I was talking to you, just flicking messages back and forth while we were organising this catch up, I remember you telling me, that you've had some mental health struggles over the years.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about what those struggles are? And because I know that you've also sort of developed some strategies, right, to get that have worked really well for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you talk about some of those mental health struggles,
So
what are they?
until the last few years, I didn't know how to address them or what they were. I just thought it was just me. But now it's like, I don't know, every 6 to 8 months, I'll get low just randomly. I don't know what it is. I like look back at the last 2 weeks of my life. I'm like, haven't drunk, or I've been healthy, I've slept well. Just happens. And being low will just be like, massive anxiety. I start to think like, oh, that guy doesn't like me, that guy doesn't like me. And it's just, that voice telling you all these things. And then I'll be like, I need to go for a run. That makes me feel better. And that voice will be like, no, you suck at running. There's no point. Don't stay. Like, it wants you to like stay in bed.
Mm.
And it's almost like a physical feeling as well. It's almost like there's a weight on your shoulders and your legs are super heavy and you're just tired for no reason.
Wow.
And it's super tough. I know feeling low is different for everyone else, but that's the best way I can sort of articulate it. And this is, you start spiraling, and then you'll be like quiet to people, and then they will say to you, have I done something to you?
Yeah.
And it's just me who's been quiet around them. Then now I'm like, oh bro, you've been weird. Stop it. Like, and then it just
makes it worse.
Yeah.
I was thinking the other day, like, I can't actually remember where I heard it, but when I heard it, it made perfect sense to me about, those periods where you just kind of wake up either feeling low or you have really, really good days. And you try to put your finger on why.
Yeah.
And, if we think about a year's kind of 365 days, right?
Yeah.
Which means that 10% of a year is roughly 36 odd days. And you go, okay, so throughout a year, there's going to be roughly 36 days where I feel in the bottom 10%.
Yeah.
Right. Where I just have like a bottom 10% day. I feel like absolute trash. I wake up, like nothing's going well for me. I feel blue, lonely. People don't like me. Like, just those days that we all experience them from time to time. 36 of them throughout the whole year. They might come all at once or they might come kind of sporadically. And then at the other end, you have 36 days-ish every single year where you just are crushing it. Like everything's going real well. Everything you touch kind of just turns to gold. And again, you don't know why, what's causing it to go so well, but it's just everything's coming off for you. And then in the middle, you kind of have the norm, which is 80% of your year. So I was like, oh yeah, that's interesting. That's just maths, the law of averages. And then I thought, 36 is actually quite a lot when you think about it. 36 is, well, it's one every 10 days, but it's, it's almost, there's 52 weeks in a year. So it's almost one a week.
Yeah.
It's one every kind of week and a half. One day every week and a half where you're basically going to have one of the worst days of your year.
Yeah.
And when I frame it up like that, it just makes me think sometimes you just have a really shit day.
Yeah.
And you think, oh man, I have to change something, or like, what have I done? And you try and overanalyze it. But sometimes it's like, well, you are just going to have a shit day every now and then, but you're also going to have like an amazing day every now and then. And I try really hard not to read.
It's so hard on your low. Of the good days though, because you're in it.
Easier said than done.
Totally, yeah. It's like, oh man, I feel good. Maybe in a week, tomorrow. It's just, you can't even think about that. It's like so far away for you.
So what are your coping mechanisms or your strategies? When you are having one of those days where you just feel,
I just do what I'm meant to do. If I got this to do, miles to run, I'll do it. Even if I feel like crap, I've got zero motivation, I'll just do it. I won't let it win.
yeah.
And that's so hard. And at that time, I find if you just keep doing that, it will slowly disappear, hopefully.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of, it's a Māori concept, te whare tapawha? Have you ever heard of that before?
No.
So it's like this idea of, it's a model of health.
Yeah.
And the idea, a tapawha means a square, right? And so it talks about the 4 pillars or the 4 walls of health.
Yeah.
And it likens it to a room or to a house. And it says, the whare itself, so the home itself has 4 walls, and the 4 walls make up holistic health and well-being. And you got one of the sides is taha whānau, so it's your family and your friends and all your social relationships. That's one part of your health. Taha tinana, which is your body, so it's your physical, going out for a run, going to the gym, whatever. Taha hinengaro, which is your mental.
Yeah.
And then taha wairua, which is kind of your spiritual health and wellness, depending on what that looks like for different people. And it's really interesting to because our health and well-being is kind of made up by all 4 of those sides. That's the idea. For different people, they lean really heavily on their spiritual. They might be really religious people, and that's a really big part of their health and well-being. For other people, they're like, nah, it's not really that important, and it's more my mental health or my relationships is what keeps me healthy. I've reflected on this a little bit over the last few months, and one of the things that I know about me, and I'm interested to know what your answer is that the door into my house is like on the physical side.
Yeah.
When I'm having a real shit day, I don't go to church or anything like that. It's spirituality is not how I turn a really crap day into feeling better.
Yeah.
Hanging out with people that I love and care about, that's a big part of it. But the mental, when my mental health is really kind of down, I go for a run or I go to the gym. For me, it's a really easy kind of cheat code to unlock health and well-being is going out and doing something physical. It's kind of
strikes out of yourself as well for doing it.
100%, bro. Especially when you feel like crap.
Yeah.
And you still put on your shoes and you still go for a run or go to the gym. Yeah. When you finish that, 100% you feel proud about it.
Yeah.
Is that your experience as well? Is that for you how you unlock
It definitely helps, but some days I will get so low, it just does nothing. Yeah, I'll just get back and I'm like, oh, that sucked. But then some days I'm like, I get back and I'm like, that was amazing. I feel great now.
It strikes me that this run is quite personal for you. Um,
I think that's why there's no doubt I'll finish. But yeah, the purpose behind it is much stronger than any pain which will receive during the run.
yeah. Why? I mean, there's lots of different great causes out there that you could have chosen.
Yeah.
There's lots of really terrible things out there that, we want to try and bring awareness to. What is it about suicide that for you was like, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to energy into.
It's just, I struggle with my mental health and I've definitely had days where I've considered it.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful that I haven't. And the main reason why I always think don't is because, man, your mum will be so sad. You can't do it.
Yeah.
And that is literally a lot of times which has saved me. It's close to home before. And then a few of my mates come to me as I'm sort of that guy, if you are down, make sure you talk to me.
Yeah.
And I'll get some mates who are hey bro, I'm super low. And then they are the nicest humans in the world. And they deserve to be happy. Well, not just happy, but they just deserve a peaceful life. And they're just super, super kind. And I'm like, man, this is some beer.
Yeah.
It's all these lovely people around me are just getting low. And I was like, dude,
why don't you think because I mean, the classic cliche story that people say is men are terrible at talking about how we feel.
Yeah.
It's been my experience as well. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
What is it? Why do we suck at talking with each other about how we feel?
I think we feel we will get judged. I think there's this part. I think a part of it is if you are low, you don't want to burden people with your own problems because you feel you're just going to make them annoyed. That can get into your head a little bit as well. And then there's that more older generation now who are pull up your socks, take some concrete pills, you're a man, grow up.
Harden up.
Yeah, harden up. And so there's that as well. Do
you think there's a balance to find?
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, because it's so tough. But there's days definitely where you could be going through just you could just be having a shit day.
Yep.
Literally you could muck something up at work. You could, I don't know, it could be traffic, it could be whatever it is. You could drop with your phone or stub your toe. There's just all that in a row. You're like, man, I'm having a bad day.
Yep.
But days like that, it's harden up, go for a run, wait. But days when you're low, I feel if when you're low, I feel you should definitely reach out to your mate or someone.
Have you ever felt when a mate or someone close to you has reached out to you to talk, have you ever felt that was a burden? They were being a burden to you?
Never.
Yeah.
I'm super thankful that they have. And I'm like, hey mate, thank you for telling me. Yeah.
I think that's
they have. I can definitely tell because they say oh, sorry for telling me.
Yeah.
Or thanks so much for hanging out with me tonight. I really appreciate it. Someone anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you think there's a responsibility on the person who's receiving that? So in your case, people are coming to you and not offloading, but they're being vulnerable with you and kind of sharing with you how they're feeling. It's really easy. That's a hard thing for a lot of people to do, to come to someone
and I do struggle with it sometimes, especially if it's someone I love. Definitely, yeah, it is a lot.
You struggle to hear that or to...
Yeah, especially when there's someone I love because I care about them. And I'm like, oh man, such and such is feeling down. It's oh, that sucks. Poor guy.
Do you reckon it's important though if we're the people that are receiving this information and people are trusting us to kind of sit there and listen, that is there a right way to respond? Is I guess what I'm asking. Because if someone came to me and kind of shared with me how they're feeling and they're going through a tough time and it's very personal sort of stuff, if I just sit there and go, oh yeah, cheers, that's probably not what they want to hear. I feel there's a responsibility on the person who's receiving that information to receive it in the right way and make that person know, I really appreciate it.
I find what helps is, so I listen first and then I ask if they want advice, or I listen and I try and compare it with my own stuff so they feel not alone and not weird straight away. So I'm like, oh man, dude, I have the same feeling. Like this happens to me as well.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, it's not just me then. So they don't feel lonely. And in terms of advice is a hard one because you never know what they're going through, like completely what they're going through. So I'm like, man, just like cheer up, you're an amazing dude. Like, get a good sleep tonight. Keep doing what you're doing. Like, don't let it win.
It's interesting that you actually asked them, do you want some advice, right? Because maybe maybe they're just looking to kind of offload. Yeah, I don't necessarily want advice.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good question to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, usually I wouldn't do it like this sort of setting. I'll say just go for a walk, go for a hike or walk up a hill, and then there's stuff going around.
This is actually quite uncomfortable, I think, to share personal stuff like face to face.
Yeah, yeah. Someone's feeling stuff. Right. Let's go for a walk up Rebecca. And then there's, and then you go for a walk, get the blood going, get some, your endorphins going.
Yeah.
And that can sort of let off the chest a little bit more.
Yeah, no, I remember reading something, it was a few years ago, about how men in particular are far better at sharing this kind of stuff when we're not looking at each other.
Yes.
So they're talking about like in the car.
Yeah.
Dad's in the car with his son and they're having a conversation about something that's kind of heavy or a bit uncomfortable. Much easier to do it when we're both looking forward. We don't have to look at each other. Or like you said, going for a walk or a run. We don't have to sit here across the table, make eye contact and have a conversation about something that's a bit uncomfortable. That's a good strategy though. Hard to say, let's go for a walk, man.
Have you ever noticed if like two guys meet at a supermarket or a park, they always stand next to each other and look out?
I have not noticed that.
And the females will talk face to face.
Right. No, I haven't noticed that. Interesting observation.
And then, I don't know where I heard it was another podcast, and it said it's because men are designed to look out for like threats.
Okay.
And women aren't necessarily designed for that. Then naturally we like, how you going? And you like looking out.
Yeah. We don't, it's uncomfortable to stand across from, look at them and especially have a conversation. Yeah, we're much more comfortable sort of standing shoulder to shoulder rather than face to face. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, so I suppose if not knowing that, right, if a mate does come to you and you kind of get the sense that they want to offload or share something with you, maybe going for a walk is a really good way to kind of make them relax. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, feel comfortable.
Yeah, and let's get the endorphins going.
Yeah, that's
some exercise, and then they can unload a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm interested to know. So strategies when you're running.
Yeah.
What goes to? There must be times where you're at the 20K mark or the 30K mark where you're kind of going like, oh, it's long enough. Maybe I'll go home and just put the feet up. Is there like a mantra or something that goes through your head, or are you telling yourself something like one more K, or how do you? What's your system?
Do my best to zone out.
Right.
Yeah, and if you're feeling good and you're running smooth, you can. I'll do like K's just tick by. Really, just like zoned out. Or I just get lost in thought about just whatever.
Really?
Yeah. Like a conversation or having skill or
music.
Not so much.
No,
because you get sick of it.
Fair enough.
If it's 100K, you're not going to listen to 12 hours of music.
Yeah. Is that how long it's going to take you? You reckon 12 hours to run 100K? I haven't even sat down and worked out what the maths is. They're roughly
12 to 15, right, 16.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're running and then basically sleeping for the rest of the time?
Yeah, run, massage, sleep, maybe ice bath.
Okay.
Massage, sauna, sleep, go again. Yeah.
I love it, man. Can't wait. For someone who is maybe listening or watching now, who might be going through some stuff themselves, what strategies, what's worked for you, and what sort of advice might you have for someone who's going through a tough time as far as how they can deal with it?
It's a very tough question, though.
Yeah.
Because everyone is on their own different path. For me, if you are low and you're like, I just want to be happy, it's never going to work, ever. Yeah, because by being happy, you're going to do the sleeping. You're going to buy the chocolate bar because it makes you happy. You're going to order Uber Eats, and then you're going to have a beer, and then you're going to go to bed early because all these things are, are nice. They'll make you happy. So I feel like, so that's what I would sort of recommend. And for me personally, I'm always just try and be proud of yourself today. So if I am feeling like shit and I woke up at the time I was meant to, and I went to the gym like I was meant to, and I still went to work and I still cooked dinner even though I couldn't be bothered and I wanted to buy dinner, and then I get to bed and I'm like, oh, I had a good day today. Like, chill out, Morgan. Like, but be proud of yourself.
Yeah.
But if you let it win and you've done all these, slept in, had a donut, ordered Uber Eats, chilled on the couch, eating chips,
Yeah.
you're going to feel like shit even more. But everyone's on their own different path. Like, through these, ultra marathons, obviously I learned a lot of lessons about doing hard things and along the way. Like, the one reason why I like to run 100 Ks is it makes every other day of the year seem easy. So I'm sort of different to everyone else because their hard is different to my hard. But yeah, you're not going to go anywhere by sitting on a couch and feeling sorry for yourself. So whether if it's get out, go for a walk, it doesn't have to be far, just around a block, or I don't know, don't eat one less chocolate bar that day, or have a cold shower. Just do something which is a little bit tricky, which will make you proud of yourself.
Yeah.
That I think that'll be a good place to start.
So you think getting to a place where we feel proud of ourselves is a really good way to feel happy, or not?
Well, at the end of the day, yeah, happy's a
funny term, right?
Yeah, so
Because you're right. If you're looking for a short-term fix,
yeah,
then
long term,
eat a bag of chips, grab a donut,
sleep in.
Yeah, sleep in,
Yeah.
skip the hard stuff, do the easy stuff. It'll feel good.
And it will.
It totally will, 100%. But what you're saying is that's a short-term fix.
Yeah.
But
Let's say you're stuck in a rut. Because I've been there before as well.
Really?
Just like, this is 4 or 5 years ago, where I'm just stuck in a rut and just constantly, oh man, I feel shit today, I'm going to grab some beers. Oh man, I feel shit again today. Oh, I got through a day, so I'm going to buy a kebab tonight.
Right. It's just a downward spiral.
Yeah. I had a hard day today, I'm going to get this. Where you just have to be like, yeah, it's a tough one.
So what you're saying is that when you have those hard days, rather than, I guess, rewarding yourself with a kebab,
yeah,
saying, actually, give yourself a pat on the back and go, yeah, it was a hard day today, but we've got through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've got to cook some nice veggies, and some nice meat, because we still get to cook. Should still be grateful that we get to go down to the supermarket and buy some amazing food,
100%.
pack it home and cook. And then it's healthy food, so it's good for the brain.
Yeah.
And
then you get to feel proud.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it could be like, if you aren't as fit, just go for a walk around the block.
Yeah.
It could be, I don't know, take the stairs instead of the escalator. Or it could be, if you're at the supermarket, you park a little bit further away from the supermarket, so you have to walk.
Nice. It's a good one.
Just small things.
Yeah.
Just to make yourself proud. But for me, because I'm like a little bit fitter, I have to do a little bit harder things.
Yeah. You're proud as 100 Ks now.
Yeah.
It's awesome. You've just raised the bar. Do you think that a lot of the issues that we're experiencing at the moment in society around mental health and feeling low, feeling lonely, feeling blue, all of the things that you've discussed today, do you think it's more prevalent in our young people today than it was maybe when you and me were growing up, or not? Do you think young people have got harder stuff to deal with, or it's harder for them to be strong mentally?
Yeah, I think so, because life is getting easier and easier.
Interesting. Tell me about that.
Well, you can order food 2 buttons off your phone and it's at your door. Or you can have a hot shower just like that. I think humans aren't designed for that sort of easy lifestyle. So you have to put yourself through a bit of struggle and challenges, and then that's where you find purpose. But if you just live day to day like easy stuff, then it'll be a lot harder. Social media is a big issue for people, I think. As well, it is, definitely.
Everyone says that, but what do you mean by that?
So if you're feeling low and you're scrolling, because everyone puts their best stuff on social media, their holidays, their, going to the gym, going for a run, their best food, they just with their mates.
It's a highlight reel.
Yeah, it's all their highlights. They don't put like,
I feel like shit today.
Yeah. I did recently, because I was like, man, I feel like shit. I'm going to post it because everyone just sees me doing these 20K, 30K runs and I'm feeling good, blah, blah, blah. And then, so if you're feeling low and you're scrolling, you're like, oh man, I'm like the only one, which feels like this. Everyone's having a great life except for me. And that can get into your head as well, where social media is just fake.
When you did post that you were having a bad day, did you get any feedback?
Yeah, a lot of feedback. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's almost like people want to hear that they weren't weird for feeling like shit.
Yeah, a lot of people are, hey man, me too.
Mm.
Needed to see this today. I'm going to go get after it, etc. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually agree with you around the doing hard stuff as a pathway to being happy.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it in the moment, but it's the feeling that you get afterwards for accomplishing something, even if it is just something small. Yeah, it's all relative. Like it might be big for you.
Yeah. But my first half marathon was as hard as my last 100.
Really?
Like the next distance you're going to do is going to be the hardest thing you've ever done. So you've never done it before. So to some people, their 5K will be as hard as my 100K.
Mm.
To them.
100%.
But it still should have the same sense of achievement. If you got someone off the couch and they went from zero training and they ran 5K, that's a massive achievement. You know, they would have to feel like shit in those first runs. So you have to, yeah. It's so hard, but you can't just say like, do hard things, get up, you know, because that's kind of like, you have to be like, ease into it.
We shouldn't compare ourselves with other people. Again, I know
Comparison is a thief of joy, definitely.
Comparison's the theft of joy.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, it's so true because, like you said, if I ran 10K,
yeah,
to the best of my knowledge, I don't think I've ever run 10K. Not intentionally. Maybe when I was younger on the footy field, we had a long game. Maybe I ran 10K. I don't know. But I've never actually started at point A and gone, I'm going to run 10K.
Yeah.
So for me, running 10K as a 30-something-year-old, for me, that would be quite a big achievement.
Yes.
For you, you're doing it as a warm-up.
Yeah.
So if I'm comparing my 10K achievement to your 30K that you did yesterday, like, of course I'm going to feel like shit.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. For me, if I ran 10K, I should take a moment, pat myself on the back and go, that was epic, man. Good on you. Like, yeah, that was massive. That's the furthest you've ever run. And I think that's the point, right? It's comparing yourself today then to yourself yesterday and trying to improve and do hard things.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah. That's totally it. My friends just recently did their first half marathon and I was so proud of them. And then they're like, they're trying to, straight away, they're comparing themselves to like me. I was like, bro, this is your day. You did the training. Like, this has been like a 12-week, 18-week block of training. And then you're unfit at the start. So those runs at the start, you felt disgusting. You still didn't run to the end of the street. And now you're running 20K. It's crazy. Like, it's actually amazing. Yeah. Like, give yourself like a massive pat on the back.
Yeah. Be proud of yourself.
And then I can compare myself to other, like, you know, like Brockman or Goggins. I could be like, oh, those guys are like insane. I suck. But if you do compare yourself to others, then yeah, it's a free joy.
That's great, man. If people want to get behind this amazing cause and they want to support you, what's the best way? How do you want people to support you?
Just talk to your mates for one. We are doing it to raise money as well.
And for charity?
Yeah.
I think you mentioned it before, but why don't you tell us again? Who are you raising money for?
I Am Hope. So they help the younger sort of kids and whatnot get counselling without any stress of the bill.
Yep.
Or kind of stress of telling anyone as well that you're feeling a bit rubbish. You can go on their website and you can book a session and no one knows, like,
right.
You know, it could be super secret, which to some kids, they don't want to tell their parents that they are down.
Yeah.
So you can go see someone, no questions, easy peasy. So, raise the money for I Am Hope, raise an awareness and come down to Hagley Park as well and say g'day.
Yeah. So when is it? Tell us when it is.
September 1st.
September 1st this year, 2025 at Hagley Park. And it's for a whole week, yeah? Yeah, amazing, bro. Look, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today. Listening to you, you're an inspirational guy. I love what you're doing. And running 617K is massive. And it's such a good cause. It's such an important kaupapa topic that we all have been touched by at some point in our lives. And if we haven't yet, we will be at some point. And so bringing awareness to suicide prevention, talking about it, especially me, being vulnerable enough to put yourself out there and actually say, hey, look, I've battled with this in the past. This is how I've done it. And I just want to share that story with other people. I think is a really brave thing to do. So I think
want to prove that, like, I'll have a lot of mental resilience to do this, but I still struggle with my own stuff.
yeah,
Israel Adesanya.
Yep.
He just did a video with Spark That Chat. It's an Instagram page. They sort of, it's in the name, Spark That Chat.
Yep.
Talk to your mates. And Izzy was talking about his issues with mental health.
I didn't see it. What did he say?
Just his, like, how he's feeling low, how he struggles with being famous sometimes, and how working out in MMA helps him.
Yep.
Great conversation. But this guy is the ex-middleweight champion of the world.
Yep. The last person that you would assume
Yes,
was not having a good day.
Toughest guy, and, like,
Yeah.
insane. Like, fights, literally cage fighting, and he's a world champion at it, and he still struggles. So if you're sitting there going like, oh, you know, I'm too tough to struggle or say anything, well, then you've got all these amazing guys who are struggling, and, well, not struggling, but have moments, yeah. And, you know, they still do these amazing things. So just talk to your mates.
No, I love that message, man. And I think, yeah, really can't wait to see you have a crack at doing the 617. Not have a crack. I think I have full confidence that you're going to do it. And I'll be there. I'll support you. I'll be cheering on. And yeah, just a final plug, I suppose, for you. Yeah. September the 1st.
Yep.
Hagley Park.
Yeah.
South Hagley. If anyone wants to come down, show some support in person, but also head to your Instagram.
Yeah.
And we'll chuck it up on screen somewhere. And is there a page where, like a web page, a give a little or something?
Yeah.
People can go
up there. Yeah.
Awesome. We'll make sure we'll chuck it on the screen as well. And if people want to go and support,
Hammer on down, do some reps.
yeah, for sure. I'll do some laps. Are you happy to feel to run in behind?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Cool. I might try and do 1 or 2, Cap. Yeah, appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. You're an absolute inspiration. Keep up the good mahi, keep up the good work, and keep encouraging people to come forward and talk about it, man. You're nothing but respect for you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thanks very much, brother.
That's right.